and welcome to Beer Grilled Skinny, where a mother-daughter team embraces the random, and boy, is it going to be random today. I am Lori Ann, the daughter.
And I am Justine, the mama.
I have an announcement to make. We are going to branch out into video within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully by the 250th anniversary of the U.S. being in existence. It's a little intimidating, but we're learning as we go, and so we're going to do that. I'll let y'all know in advance that it's easy to edit audio. We'll see what happens when it's time to edit video. Last time, on our latest episode, we discussed jobs. We got a little carried away.
We did.
And that's why we call it Embracing the Random.
Because a lot of times when we're talking about things, it reminds us of memories that we think you would find just as funny as we do, because, we kind of like dark humor.
Well, some of them are just funny.
I know, but, I'm realizing I had 30-plus jobs. I moved 30-plus times.
Well, that should explain why you lost most of the jobs, because you left.
Well, that could. I'll be thinking about it. But in the meantime, I think we let off the last time I was in Waynesboro.
Uh-huh.
And I was married, and I got a job at a factory.
You were married when you got the job at the factory?
Yes, because he had a job working nights, and I had a job working days, and we would pass on the same road, and whoever was driving
that was
me,
in Tulsa.
Because I hadn't had a chance to get a driver's license yet, and we'd stop in the middle of the road and get a kiss. And
I know that, but I thought that was in Tulsa.
Name of the factory was Genesco, and they made men's clothes.
The factory that he worked at, or that you worked at?
I can't remember where he worked at. That was the one I worked at.
It's good getting this stuff in context. For me, you guys might not care, but here we are.
So, yeah, I had been a seamstress for a lot of years, and I was really good, but
I came
in conflict with the union, because you had to have the job a certain amount of time before you could join the union. Mm-hmm. So they had to keep finding fault with my work in order to not end up... They couldn't advance me faster. So they had to have a reason. So it was a made-up reason. Here, you didn't put these darts in correctly. You're a thread off. You have to pull that out and sew it back up again.
I don't understand why the union didn't want you just,
They had union rules, which, I was dumb. I didn't know what the union rules were, and because they didn't let me in the union, because they weren't supposed to, and I had to have the job a certain amount of time.
I mean, here's why that's weird to me, because when I went to work for Disney, okay, so this was the 60s when you were working for
Genesco.
And when I was working for Disney, that was the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a case of you have to work here long enough to get in the union. It's if you want this job to not be a temporary job, you have to join the union.
Huh.
They were very keen on getting me into the union.
Well, how about that? Because I don't even remember the union coming up when I was at Disney.
Oh, you don't?
Maybe because I was in finance.
No, we both did the same thing. They gave us these contracts, and we just blocked out all of the stuff that we were not interested in. We are not going to let you own all of our thoughts. That's simple.
La-di-da-di-da.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyhow, while I was at Genesco, and I wasn't allowed to go into the union yet, I don't even know if I would have accepted the union. I was newly married and just wanting to make some money. But they went on strike. So, if you were part of the union, you couldn't cross the line, the picket line. Well, I wasn't part of the union, so I just went to work, and I was getting ready to cross the picket line, and my boss came and said, "You can't do that. You have to go home." And I'm like, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. And they were like, nothing's going on in the factory. You have to go home. And so I did.
Oh, I thought you crossed the picket line and did work.
No, they wouldn't let me go in the factory.
That is so weird.
I know, the rules, the controls that humans believe they have enough knowledge to be making decisions.
Well, you've told me this story before, and I thought you were threatened for crossing the picket line.
Well, my boss pretty much made it a threat.
Your boss made it a
Yes,
threat.
I had to leave because I was going to get hurt if I went into the factory.
Oh, your boss was protecting you.
Yeah. And for the life of me, I guess because people just, oh, you can't do this or you can do that. They just kind of like, robots obey the rules. And me, a lot of the time I didn't know there were rules. And then when they told me rules, I didn't understand them because they didn't make good sense.
I know. We should be doing these jobs in order, but speaking of rules, when you went to work for Henry General Hospital.
Yes.
And that's when you taught me all about how if you put on a lab coat, you can go anywhere you want in the hospital.
Yeah.
For the record, folks, we weren't stealing babies or anything like that. I don't even know why we wanted to go places we weren't supposed to go.
Well, for me, it was Steve had this friend, wanted to get into the hospital to see a friend, and she couldn't because it was in a part of the hospital that nobody could go. And so I just slipped on my lab coat and took her in because they didn't question me because I had my lab coat on. Because I worked for doctors, and sometimes having a lab coat was appropriate apparel.
That's wild.
I know. It is. And so often rules, when to make them, when to break them. It's difficult.
It's not that difficult. Sometimes rules are just dumb. And when they're good, I follow them.
Okay. So, my marriage broke up. I had to make a living. I went to work. I had been working at the Atlanta Women's Clinic. And I can't remember why I lost that job. To save me, I can't remember.
Okay, I hate that you say everything like you lost the job.
True.
Sometimes you just leave a job.
I might have just left that one. Anyhow, I know I went to work for the FHA.
But how did you end up working for that place with the guy that wanted to sleep with you?
Which one?
Joe?
Oh, Georgia Baptist Hospital.
Yeah, how'd you end up there?
That was another door that Steve opened for me when...
Was this before or after the Atlanta Women's Clinic?
This was before. I was still very married. I went to the Atlanta Women's Clinic to
She
get away
was
from
very
Joe.
married, y'all.
Yes.
Not kind of married. She was very married.
I went to work for the Atlanta Women's Clinic because I was trying to get away from Joe. I didn't know how to make him back off. I didn't really, I'll be honest, I didn't want to make him back off, but I was married.
I understand. We won't even get into that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't support cheating.
No, I don't either.
And it wouldn't have been worth it to leave your marriage just, to satisfy a need.
And when my marriage did break up, I just wasn't inclined to have some other man be a father to you. I didn't meet any that I felt like should.
That's fine that you say that, but you got together with this fella that was disgusting.
And I saw him walking in the backyard with you, and I knew I had to get that out of the picture.
It took too many years, and I got him out of the picture. I just want to be clear on this. I had to babysit the son of the woman that he was making a side piece when Mom should have been the main one. And then when we got to doing our accounting business, he showed up again. He would show up all the time. By the way, I found out later they would sleep in my bed. It's just so gross. He made her cry, and I was falling to the point of, I'm going to get a gun, and I'm going to kill this guy. I know this is not the kind of thing that should be put in a podcast. I am not suggesting that anyone choose murder as an option. I'm simply telling you what I was tempted to do, and it was get this guy out of the picture. Now, I did not use murder. What I ended up using was speaking in tongues. I sat in our car, and I started praying in tongues, and it freaked him out so bad that he left forever.
Yes, he did.
Thus, I was tempted to commit murder, but I figured out how to use prayer. You're welcome.
Yeah. I haven't been, the brightest bulb in the lamp. We know that.
In terms of men, you're a very bright bulb in the lamp.
So sweet.
No, I'm not being sweet. You are quite bright, and I would find you boring if you weren't. You just have really bad taste in men.
Well, I don't believe I had another one after him. I had a number of them look, to start something with me, but I never let it go anywhere.
I can't remember. I can't remember if the dude at the animal clinic was before or after
John,
him.
that was after him.
Yeah.
But he would only interact with me after he left Clayton County because he was, dark-skinned fellow. And so he would go home and get drunk and call me and flirt with me on the phone. But then when we'd go to work the next day, it was like he barely knew me other than to smile.
I feel like you missed out because he's not the only dark-skinned fellow you've been interested in, and I feel like that would have worked out for you.
Well, since I didn't really know anything about him other than, we're going through the civil rights period, and he was afraid.
The 80s was not the civil rights period. You were just paranoid.
Was that the 80s?
Yes, it was the 80s.
Okay, well, yeah, I was paranoid. I was paranoid about anybody that would be interested in me.
He couldn't have been any worse than...
Oh, I know. Well, I don't think he could have been. He was so sweet on the job.
I'm so sorry that you've been through so much, and we are getting way off topic.
I know. Let's get back on topic.
And by the way, that was one of the jobs she worked at, a veterinary clinic.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're talking about here.
And the way I got my next job was he was going to do, the vet was going to do surgery on a dog's ears, and he was drunk. Well, number one, I didn't much appreciate what I was learning about what people will do to their dogs to make them show dogs. I mean, Dobermans, you have to do their ears so you can do a show. Anyhow, that still makes me angry. I could use a lot of bad words right here, but I won't. Anyhow, he was going to do surgery, and I called his daughter, and his daughter had him committed to the mental hospital.
Yes, I remember this because you dragged me over there.
I had to go sit in group therapy with him and his doctors.
I know, and I had to sit out in the outside area, and I literally listened to this woman screaming like a banshee, and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be playing horseshoes, and I was just terrified. And by the way, y'all, part of the reason I was terrified is because this was the period of time when Mom said, if you read a romance novel, I'm going to stick you in a mental institution. That's just not right.
No, it's not.
She's a good mom, but she didn't get everything right.
So, after the group therapy session, one of his psychologists came up to me and said, he's going to fire you when he gets out of here, and I really need a office manager, so come check with me. You'll have a job. And that's when I went to work for the psychologist.
Oh, so it was him and not her. This was not a trick question.
Yeah,
it was him and not her. It was a partnership.
No, it was her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you made it sound like it was a him.
I'm sorry. So she came and told me because he was not the vet's doctor. She was the vet's doctor.
Mm.
And that's when she said, I need somebody. I went to work for them. And boy, howdy, did I learn a few things about patients and their problems. Her husband was a sex therapist. This was, a time when if a man didn't want to be gay, he could come in and be plugged up to a battery and get shocked. If he looked at men's pictures, and then he could be shown Playgirls in the Playboy magazine to kind of get him aroused.
I'd be curious to know. I think this is a horrible practice, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
I think this was a terrible thing that they did.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious to know, did any of them go, well, yeah, I'm totally aroused by the women now.
I know.
They only came in because they were Christians.
He was a missionary.
Who was a missionary?
The patient.
Exactly. So they came in because they were concerned about their souls.
Yeah.
Which, we won't get into that. I mean, I have friends with gay
I do too.
children who are not, I mean, they're Christians. It's just a thing of God will forgive you. But back in the 80s, I think that's when AIDS came out. I don't know.
I don't know either. I had been kept separated from all of that. Another thing, when I was working for the vet, and he had a get-together over at his house, and there were two women kissing, and they'd look over at me and grin, and I would be friendly, but I was like, it was like I had stepped on another planet, because I knew nothing about that.
Okay, I know you knew nothing about that because back when you were in college, your roommate was into you.
That's true, yeah.
And you didn't know it.
Yeah.
You wander through life not realizing how attractive you are, and people get attracted to you, and you're just like, it goes right over your head.
Yeah, it does. I was kind of confused because, when you think you've had a word from God that such and such a man is supposed to be your husband, and so you go through it for God, and then that husband goes away, it's a little bit difficult to understand. I spent a lot of years trying to decipher what in the wide world the Bible was about as far as a guidance tool, and, I don't have to do that anymore.
I understand. I think it was a mistake of ours to take the Bible literally.
Yeah, well, now with enough years and wisdom, we can understand what was going on. But back then, we couldn't. I mean, I was determined I had to keep you in church. Well, you pulled us out.
It's interesting that when you thought you had to keep me in church, I felt like I was coming out of the closet when I told you that I was done with church.
I know you did. You were so scared.
I was. I thought you were going to be like, I will disown you or whatever. And
Whatever
you're like,
parents do.
oh, well, I was kind of in agreement with you. I was just worried that if I told you, you'd have a bad reaction.
Yep.
So I was just waiting for you to figure it out.
And then finally you worked it out and told me, and everything was all right.
It was. The church we were in was horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not against religion. It's not for me anymore. God and I need to have a conversation where God shows up first.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I really appreciate the morals of the Bible. I appreciate Christianity, the idea of grace. I mean, my biggest beef is, all right, I think I overthink this a lot, you guys, but my biggest beef is Jesus died for our sins, and now he only gets the souls of the people that believe by word of mouth. My whole thing is, you should get all the souls, whether they believe or not.
Because that's what you paid for.
Exactly. He paid for all the souls.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm anti-Christian. I like it a lot better than other religions, but talking about other religions can get political.
I know. It really can.
And I don't want to get political.
Because a lot of people justify their behavior with their religion, and it's not justifiable.
Exactly.
So,
Because I like Western civilization. It's a thing.
yeah.
Anyhow, I don't know when we're going to get all the way through all of these jobs, but we've gone as far as we can today. And I hope you subscribe, comment, let us know if you even enjoyed this content, if you got this far into the episode. It would be good to hear from you.
Yes, it would.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.